Welcome to the second stop in our series, Faith in the City, Wanshou Baxian Palace, or the Palace of the Eight Immortals. Baxian Palace in Changlefang, just outside the eastern gate of Xi'an's Ming Dynasty city wall, a neighborhood that's been part of the old city for centuries. Here you'll find antique markets, weekend flea markets, and stalls selling everything imaginable. The streets are so narrow that on busy days, the whole area can come to a standstill. 西安政府为了应对巴西安车水马龙的一些交通问题呢，在2020年开辟了一条这条路，这条路就叫新乐路。Road, effectively carving the neighborhood into its own quiet pocket, separate from the city's main arteries. So why does this area feel so alive with the rhythms of everyday life? To understand that, we need to go back to the origins of Baxian Palace itself. As the name suggests, it was built for the eight immortals Baxian. Unlike most gods who dwell in the heavens, the eight immortals live among ordinary people. This points to one of the most important differences between Buddhism and Taoism in China. Buddhism spread from the top down, while Taoism grew from the bottom up. Take Guangren Temple, which we visited in our last episode. It was built by imperial decree. In fact, from the moment Buddhism arrived in China, it was emperors and royal families who funded the temples and commissioned the translations of scriptures. China's very first Buddhist temple, Baima, the White Horse Temple, was built by Emperor Ming of the Han Dynasty to house Indian monks who had come to translate sutras. The word "si" was deliberately chosen to signal official status, because "si" originally meant a government office. So, in a manner of speaking, many Chinese Buddhist monks were practicing their faith inside what were essentially government buildings, serving primarily the ruling class. Taoism is different. It was born among ordinary people, and it has always served ordinary people. For most of its followers, the heart of Taoism is not theology or scripture. It's the practical arts, divination, numerology, talismans, hand seals and feng shui, tools for reading and shaping the course of a human life. Baxian Palace traces its origins back to the Song Dynasty. It was built to commemorate a pivotal moment in Taoist legend, the meeting between Lu Dongbing, one of the eight immortals, and his master Zhongli Quan on this very site. At 八仙门的门口有这样一个碑，叫长安九寺，而这里呢便是长安九寺的原址，也是吕洞宾、李纯阳在遇到汉钟离的地方。现在在我的身后呢，是进了八仙延安之后第一个出现我们眼前的建筑物，叫做玉仙桥。传说是吕洞宾遇见了汉钟离的地方，然后现在我也上去走一走，看看是不是能遇到一些汉钟离。Past the bridge is the first hall, Lingguan Hall, dedicated to Wang Lingguan, one of Taoism's divine protectors. What's interesting is that these Taoist deities have names that sound just like ordinary Chinese people's names, which is perhaps part of why Taoism has always felt so close to everyday life. On the rear wall of Lingguan Hall, a carved inscription reads, "The way of the Tao mirrors heaven and earth." Across from it stands the main hall, the Hall of the Eight Immortals. I should mention that the temple authorities asked us not to film the statues inside, so the images you're seeing now are sourced from the internet. Despite the hall's name, the eight immortals themselves are arranged along the sides. The central position of honor goes to Donghua Dijun, the lord of the eastern fluorescence, foremost among the five patriarchs of the Quanjin school. In Taoist tradition, Donghua Dijun is a celestial deity, and Rudongbin is believed to be his earthly incarnation.
在我身后呢，就是本次我觉得最为重要的点叫吕祖殿。然后呢，它是据说吕洞宾悟道阅汉中音之后悟到黄粱一梦的地方，是呈现的地方。
Across from the hall stands a bronze tablet engraved with scenes from his journey from mortal man to immortal sage. As the ancestral temple of Patriarch Rubensen Palace holds a place of great reverence in Taoism, during one of our filming visits, we even encountered Taoist pilgrims who had traveled all the way from Taiwan, crossing mountains and seas, to pay their respects.
翻山越岭回返祖堂，叩见女祖先师及列位圣僧，并祝贺师尊女祖先师福佑义居，圣寿无疆，圣寿恭祝西安八仙宫香火兴旺，香火万年。
And yet, the hall that draws the most devotion, the one with the longest lines. The thickest incense smoke is not this sacred site. It's the hall of the god of wealth. At other halls, worshippers queue up, take turns bowing and burning incense. But only at the Hall of Wealth does the crowd get so thick that staff have to physically manage the flow of visitors. What makes it even more remarkable, Baxian Palace has not one but two halls of the god of wealth. That's almost unheard of anywhere else in China. This is the original hall, each small with no courtyard, just a single narrow path leading to the entrance. And yet it draws the most worshippers of anywhere in the temple. Even now, with a second hall built to share the load, the line here still stretches long, and staff are still needed to keep things moving. On the side wall of the newer Hall of Wealth, there's a bronze commemorative tablet describing the hall's construction. Visitors passing by almost always stop to run their fingers over certain characters, rubbed so often they gleam bright against the dark metal. You don't even need to read the inscription. The brightness tells you everything. Whether in a Buddhist temple or a Taoist one, the character that shines brightest in the hearts of people today is Cai, wealth. Look at how it glows. Next to it, a few characters still hold their dignity. Shun, smooth fortune. Fu, blessing. And peace. Jixiang, good luck. Everything else fades. Compared to the barter lamps, spinning prayer wheels, and wish tablets we saw at Guanren Temple, the mode of devotion here at Baxian Palace is more direct, more physical. The logic couldn't be simpler. Touch what you want.
我也是，这是听人家说的，这不是俩脚。人家就说是你哪不舒服哪疼啊，比如眼睛不好你就摸眼睛，腰不好你就摸腰，腿不好了你就腿疼呀，或者不舒服你就摸腿就行了。
On the side wall of the main hall, we watched someone carefully running their hands over a stone carving. Slowly, deliberately, the carving reads for characters: Ping'an Fugui, peace, safety, and prosperity. The accompanying images are visual palms. A porcelain vase in the center, because the word for vase, Ping, sounds like peace, bats in each corner. Because Fu, the word for bat, sounds like fortune. A vase is extraordinarily fragile, an odd choice to symbolize safety. As for the bat, whether it truly carries good fortune is perhaps a question only those who've touched it can answer. Beside that carving, on the same wall, there is another tablet, stone this time, unlike the bronze one by the Hall of Wealth. People robbed this one too. The most worn characters are two Fa characters sitting side by side. In Chinese, Fa and prosperity and wealth are almost always said together, so people touching these characters are at heart still praying for money. Perhaps the brightness of those two characters blinded people to what sat just below them, the character Sha Kill. This tablet is engraved with the Huangdi Yinfu Jing, Yellow Emperor's hidden talisman classic, one of Taoism's most ancient texts. The two Fei characters that have been robbed to a shrine correspond to these lines. Heaven releases its killing force, stars shift, constellations scatter. Earth releases its killing force, dragons and serpents rise from the deep. Man releases its killing force, heaven and earth overturn. The killing force here refers not to ordinary danger, but to cataclysmic, world-altering destruction. Nobody noticed. They touched the characters, turned, and walked away. In the end, I think I understood something. The stone carving of the Yinfuzing had been here long before the commemorative bronze tablet was made. The Taoist priests who designed that newer tablet would have known. They must have known that certain characters would be rubbed bright over time. Perhaps that's exactly why they chose dark bronze. So the brightness of those future-worn characters would stand out all the more clearly, revealing, without commentary, what people truly want. Maybe they had understood something essential about what temples and shrines are for. Here, your desires light up. Whether it's a character worn bright by 1,000 hands, or a piece of paper set alight, or a stick of incense rising into the air. Taoism is the only religion native to China. It does not speak of the afterlife. It makes no promises about reincarnation. It does not reach towards some distant shore. What it cares about is now, this body, this life. The people touching those stone tablets, praying for safety, for wealth, for health. They may not be devout believers in any theological sense, but in their own way, they are carrying forward something very old and very Chinese. The simple, stubborn wish to leave well and to leave better. Perhaps that is why Taoism has endured for 1,000 years and never left the streets. Because it was never anywhere else to begin with,